Good evening, everyone. How's everyone doing? My name is Danielle, and welcome to Wicked Truth and F-Bombs.
Hey everybody, I'm Amy.
Hey, Amy.
Hey.
Nice to meet you.
Right? Oh, so you guys, like 5 minutes before we went live, there was some truth bombs going on.
Yes. So, thank you, Amanda, for letting us know the sound is great. If you are new to our channel, I think there are some new people down there. First and foremost, thank you so much for joining us tonight. If you haven't subscribed yet, it would be really awesome if you would. We would greatly appreciate that. We also only have a few rules here, the main one being that we don't talk about other creators, other YouTube channels, other Facebook groups. We focus only on the case that we are talking about. We're here to talk about a case, and that's it. Sometimes we joke around. Sometimes you hear background noise like dogs and kids. We're real people doing real life things here. So we're glad to have you all.
We are, and I see some of our new subscribers asking if we ever actually go live on camera. We might at some point, but generally speaking, no.
Yeah,
We both have kids and things like that. We like to keep, we share a lot with our groups and with you all, but we like to keep some things private.
Yeah, I mean, I don't doubt that at some point we'll be on camera. It's just 99.9% of the time, I do have my kids roaming around my house where you can hear my dogs prancing around actually, but where I stream in the middle. I have like an open concept living space with my kitchen and living room. So I have kids in and out of the area that I am sitting at, and I do not want to put my minor children on camera, nor do I want to expose them to a Facebook page of true crime or the YouTube world. So if there's ever a chance that we don't have kids home, then yeah, for sure we'll be on camera.
Yeah, but for right now, it's pretty much a nope.
We're not camera shy. I mean,
No, and I have stepchildren, so it's not. I mean, I can't have littles running around in the background, and I
right.
can't prevent it unless I have like a butterfly net. So
Yeah, I have everybody who knows me personally. I am even I'm actually very, I don't know the word. I don't share a lot about my children on my own Facebook. I'll share pictures here and there, but I'm not going to put my children on camera in the background. So at
no,
some point we might have both be free and not have kids in the background. So
there you go.
there's the answer to that question. We have a lot of familiar faces down there in the chat. I guess we can go ahead and get started, right?
Yeah.
You were
So tonight we're talking about Sydney Sutherland, but right before we went live, there was some new information, and so I think we're gonna kind of reformat or kind of readjust the order in which we were going to talk about things, and I'll let Danielle get you started off on that.
Yeah, let me get in there and get this picture up really quick, and we'll put it up on the screen for you guys.
I'll say some highs while she's doing that. Hi, Melissa, Andrea, Renee, Joe, April Parker, Dayla Duke, Angie Montgomery, Amanda Clampett. Nice to see you. Glowing Ember, Tambra made it to a live. Good on you, girl. Christina, one of our fabulous Bomb Squad moderator members.
Yeah.
Stacy down in Texas. Tracy Walker.
Okay, so the picture I have up on the screen is a picture of missing Brooke Allensworth. Christina and I were actually looking at this last night, like middle of the night. This young woman was last seen on July 12th, 2018 in the Newark oil trough area in Newark, Arkansas. There was just a media article that came out, within the last, I don't know, hour or less, that says, I'll read the whole article just so that we can have the entire context. And I think Manda and Christina have the link to it, or I can drop it in the comments in just a moment. This was posted by a media agency called Today in Fort Smith, and it was posted about an hour ago. It says, social media connection between Eastern Arkansas murder victim and suspect's wife. Sydney Sutherland, a 25-year-old woman who disappeared while jogging in Arkansas, has been found murdered near her home. Police said the body of Sydney Sutherland was discovered in Newport on Friday following a 3-day search operation using K-9 units and helicopter crews. Sutherland was last seen running on State Highway 18 between Newport and Grubbs about 3 p.m. on Wednesday. Details on where exactly Sutherland's body was found and how she was killed were not immediately released. Online jail booking records show that 28-year-old Quake Lewellyn has been charged with 1 count of capital murder in connection to the murder of Sydney Sutherland. According to police, Lewellyn is a farmer from Jonesboro and was known to the victim, but the nature of their relationship is unclear. Quake Lewellyn was a member of the Sydney Sutherland Missing Arkansas Facebook page. Lewellyn also showed up to search for Sutherland when she was originally reported as missing. In addition, Quake Lewellyn's wife, Gracie Dawn Lewellyn, was connected to the deceased woman's Facebook. Another woman, Brooke Allensworth, has been missing from Oil Trough, Arkansas since July of 2018. Allensworth was last seen in Oil Trough on July 11th, 2018. She was driving her black 2007 Toyota Camry from Newport to Searcy when she got a flat tire. She attempted to fix the flat, but the fix apparently didn't last. She never arrived at her destination. According to a source, Lewellyn is being questioned in the disappearance of Allensworth as well. More to come as the story develops. So this was something that we were looking at very, very late. I want to say, I don't know. It might have been 3 o'clock this morning, to be honest with you. And there were comments made about it across social media. And this article just came out, which is very interesting because this woman has been missing. And now there is a media source saying that Quake, if I call him Quade, please forgive me because I keep saying Quade in my head and I don't know why. His name is Quake. But so if I call him by the wrong name, you know who I'm talking about. But they're saying he is now being questioned in the disappearance of Brooke Allensworth. So we're going to follow that. We're going to see where that goes. This was literally 10 minutes before we were going live. We saw this and we don't know what it means. We know there's been some online speculation about this, but as far as that goes, that's where we're at with that. And it is interesting because I believe, let me look at my photos here.
There are other connections or correlations between the two.
Is there?
Yes. Brooke is also a nurse. She was a nurse at the time she disappeared, and she had recently dyed her hair blonde about 2 days before she disappeared.
Brooke or?
Brooke.
Oh, okay. So Brooke Allensworth just dyed her hair blonde 2 days before she disappeared.
Mm-hmm. Wow. And she's also a nurse. So, I mean, they're little things, but.
Wow. Okay. Mm-hmm. So we're going to keep following this and see if this is credible. Again, this is just an article that was posted. literally. We're not.
It's weird too, because they say that she was that her car was parked under a bridge near a river, and right before we went on, I was just like scooting around the internet looking for different things, and I saw on 3 different places, and one of them was from, apparently they had done a Dateline episode on her at some point, and I need to go back and look at that on Brooke. I'm sorry. And it's actually, her car was abandoned at a boat ramp, which is different.
Right.
You know, it's just different.
Right.
So.
Yeah, that's definitely different. I'm going to get. I also posted Brooke's missing flyer. I added it to the thread we have going in our main Facebook group. And that is where we are covering Sydney's case. But we're going to get to the basics here about Sydney's case. And again, we'll keep following this as far as it comes to Brooke and see if anything transpires with that. It's really odd. It's really odd. So
It is.
All right, let me pull her picture down and
see what you guys are talking about. Yes, I scoot around the internet. I do. Sometimes I say I'm interneting.
You're what?
Sometimes I say I'm interneting.
Funny.
And I always joke with Manda when we're talking. I say, "Oh, I'm going to pull up that MapQuest." It drives her crazy. I don't really use MapQuest. It's just a thing.
I hear you.
Hey, Carrie.
All right.
Yeah, and us people in Florida and Gulf Coast and even people Texas, Louisiana, like all of that, we're all experiencing some double tropical storm, hurricane, rainy action. It's no fun.
For sure.
No fun.
Trying to get.
It makes us have big hair and be sweaty. And we don't like it. Let's see. What are you saying, honey boo boo? I don't want to jump too far ahead, but I think I read Quake and her knew each other. Seemed like a crime of opportunity to me. Yeah, they did know each other. Yep. And we'll get to it. Well, hey, Angel Eye. It's nice to see you here.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Chrisland. We have two coming at us. Double trouble.
What do we have?
2 hurricanes on the grassy knoll.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Well, Florida's we're just going to get some yuckiness. We're not in danger at all, but poor Texas and Louisiana, all of that. Ugh. So all I know is it's just been rainy and gross all day.
Sorry for the delay. I'm trying to.
No, you're fine.
In the background. We can go ahead and get started with Sydney. I'm going to get this up here on the screen and we'll get to talking.
Oh, wow. We got some people from London. We got Louisiana.
Wow.
Yeah, so they are. They're missing Texas now and going to Louisiana, Mississippi. Okay. Yeah. And Lower Alabama. We got Lower Alabama. Somebody here had an earthquake yesterday.
Yeah. Yep. I do not live in an earthquake area. I'm not going to say where I live, but yeah, we had a 3.4 earthquake yesterday, which is crazy. It shook my house.
Going Emperor says, I think I read Sydney was found very decomposed in only 2 days. Is that possible? I think that's a rumor, and we don't know anything about how she died or anything like that right now.
Right. I think what is interesting about that is that they said that they identified Sydney by DNA. And that is interesting because she went missing sometime in the afternoon after 3:30 on Wednesday, and she was found very early in the afternoon yesterday. So you're talking less than 48 hours. And that's telling. That's telling. So some of that speculation that's floating around may actually be substantiated. We just don't know yet.
Right.
Like Joe said, or Car Guy 72 said, the sheriff has been very tight-lipped. We're going to go ahead and play his press conference. I believe that is in the slides here that we have going. And we'll get started. So are there a lot of locals down in the chat down there? I haven't looked at it. I saw some.
I saw some comments about the weather, and how horrible the heat is there. I don't want to really call anybody out, but is anybody from that area that could maybe shed some light, or just so we know who's okay? Jason Little is a local. Welcome, Jason.
Cruise in the Tube. I'd like to see that article. That would be interesting to see.
Oh, yeah.
The news article today that said that they couldn't tell if the body was male or female. All right, so let's watch this one real quick, guys.
Okay.
Where, but we are just north of Highway 67, and you can see that a deputy is blocking off the access road. Now, I've seen law enforcement go in and out of that area, but again, we don't know exactly where Sutherland's body was found. We do know that they...
I don't know why I did that. Go here.
Just to confirm, you just arrived with someone.
Yes.
You have someone in custody.
What I will tell you is that at approximately 2 o'clock this afternoon, we did discover the body of a female, believed to be Sydney.
That's my fault, guys. Stop. That it stopped. Hold on.
And
what?
Also, there's an echo.
Is there?
I ran into the other room to turn it on just to make sure. I don't know. Can anybody tell me when you heard that portion, was there an echo or was it just me?
Yeah, let me know if there's an echo. I might have to turn my mic off. Hold on.
I think that's what it is. I think we've done this like slight echo, but it's not bad. A little bit. Yeah. Some people are saying the echo is bad.
Just to confirm, you just arrived with someone.
Yes.
You have someone in custody.
What I will tell you is that at approximately 2 o'clock this afternoon, we did discover the body of a female, believed to be Sydney. The body's been sent to the state crime lab for identification, and we do have a suspect in custody at this time. However, I can't release the name until he's formally charged. All of the, I just really want to commend all of the officers that were out there, all the agencies, Arkansas Game and Fish, Arkansas State Police, FBI, U.S. Marshal Service, Truman PD, Jonesboro PD, Jackson County Sheriff's Department, every one of the agencies that was out there. I know I'm probably forgetting some. Everyone did a phenomenal job in this case. But I would also like to add that all of the volunteers that came out, I told them this afternoon when I met with them, that I let them know, that their efforts weren't in vain, that it was because of them that assisted us in this case, which is still ongoing. So a lot of stuff I can't I can't confirm or release at this time, but I can confirm that a body was discovered about 2 o'clock of a female. It is believed to be Sydney Sutherland, and it's been sent to the crime lab.
And can confirm that you have someone in custody.
Yes, I will confirm that we do have a suspect in custody at this time, but I can't release his name until formal charges are filed.
I don't mean to press you, Sheriff, but you just arrived. Did you arrive with that person that you have in custody?
Yes, I did.
The person that you have in custody, George was telling me that this person is familiar to Sydney somehow, that they may have known each other in some fashion.
Yes.
Was this person a volunteer at any point during the search process?
No.
Is this person
Not to my knowledge.
Is this person a resident of Jackson County?
No, he is not.
Is he a farmer?
Yes.
The rumor mill is going absolutely crazy.
Oh yeah.
The rumor right now is that this could be a farmer who accidentally hit her and panicked. Obviously, you guys have interviewed him in some capacity. Is that what you're hearing from him?
As I said a while ago, we do have a suspect in custody. The investigation is still ongoing. I can't release any of the details at this time.
Was there any apparent trauma at all to the body that signaled that arrest?
I'm not at liberty to discuss that right now.
Are you able to at least discuss maybe when we could possibly see the suspect in court for a probable cause?
I've not been given the information as far as when he will be taken for a bond and arraignment at this point. It may be as soon as Monday, but I don't know at this point because I've still got to meet with prosecutors and finalize everything.
And just to be clear, you guys will be the lead.
Arkansas State Police has took the lead in the case. It's basically a joint effort between my department and Arkansas State Police. As far as the investigation itself, Arkansas State Police has processed the evidence and taken all that stuff, yes.
Are you able to confirm where her body is found?
It was found in an area north of the residence, and that's all I can say right now.
What charges are you going to be requesting from the prosecutor?
At that point, I don't know. I have to get with them. Okay.
Do you know what charges the suspect's being held on now?
He's been booked in on homicide.
Homicide.
Yeah.
Murder first, murder second.
I've not got that from the prosecutors yet.
But it's going to be some kind of homicide.
Yes.
So, from the time that the body was found, and you said that was, sorry, go ahead.
It was around 2 o'clock.
Around
this
2 o'clock.
afternoon.
When was this, and can you confirm it's a man?
Yes, it is a male.
How soon was it from the time the body was found to an arrest?
I really can't say that because I was not down there. I was in Grubb's at the scene. There was multiple things going on at the same time. So as far as the interview, I don't have any details of that. And as far as what was said, when it was said, or anything like that.
Was he arrested at the location where the body was found?
No, he was not.
Where was he arrested?
Once the interview was complete, he was going ahead. We went ahead and took him into custody.
So what?
Where was the interview conducted?
Arkansas State Police Headquarters here in Newport.
Did he just come to the ASP building, or how did?
I can't confirm that.
Okay. Did he confess? That's a rumor that he confessed to doing some kind of harm. Can you confirm that?
I can't elaborate on that. No.
So how does that, all these rumors, how does that impact your case?
It makes it tough sometimes, simply because all the rumors that are going around, when the rumors start hitting, our phones start ringing, and that's it hinders us quite a bit. It don't really hinder us, but it slows us down some.
Something that you told me yesterday is, hey, I'm the sheriff of this County, and this case is personal to me because not only do I know this young lady, my daughter's went to school with her. Although he's not a resident of Jackson County, do you know this man as well?
Yes, I do.
Any personal connection?
No.
So, and this is something that we, of course, got video of. I think they got video of. You took him into custody here. You brought him into your building.
Yes.
Is that normal procedure, or was this something that you wanted to see?
This is a small town. We're a small agency. Yeah, I'm the sheriff, but I work right alongside my guys. You know, we all do our part. We all pitch in together to get a job done.
Is there any evidence showing that at this point Sydney was kidnapped, abducted? Is he going to be facing any of those kind of charges?
I can't elaborate on details of the case because it's still under investigation at this point.
I think you are possibly going to respond the same with this question. Yesterday you said, for lack of evidence, we do not believe that she was hit. Is that, said we do not believe, do you change that today, or?
I can't elaborate.
Does it still show that she may not have been hit by a car? Or is that now under investigation?
That's all part of the investigation, yes.
And then will we have, do we have a timeline about results from the autopsy from?
Not at this point, we don't.
Is there anything out at the crime scene that would give you guys an idea of when she died? There again, that's all still part of the investigation, and I can't discuss that at this point. Her phone. Can you kind of give a proximity from where her phone was found to where her body was found?
No, sir.
Can you say, for those who don't know, I guess this area was it farmland where she was found?
It's a rural area of the county, yes.
So county roads 41 and 49 were closed today. Could you elaborate, I guess, just about the reason why they were closed? We've been hearing that there's a bracelet that was potentially found.
We locked down that entire area. Everything was combed for evidence. As far as what evidence was discovered and where, I can't really elaborate. But the whole area, we shut it down and locked it down so that we didn't have any traffic coming through, to allow the officers the opportunity to do their job properly. That's why it was all shut down.
Are you able to, and I may have already asked this, and if I did, I apologize. What led you guys to this person that you now have in custody? Because, I mean, that was pretty quick.
I'm not at liberty to discuss that.
Anything else?
Let me ask you this question. He's not a resident of Jackson County. Does he have family here in Jackson County?
I'm not sure if he does now or not, honestly.
But you won't be able to disclose how you know him personally?
No.
Do you know where he's a resident from?
Jonesboro.
Jonesboro.
Yeah.
Is he in this area frequently?
I can't discuss that.
Do you know how old he is?
25.
But you can confirm that can you confirm that there was some kind of evidence there at the scene or to Sydney that has led to these homicide charges?
No, I can't confirm that right now. I can't discuss that. That's all still under investigation.
Giving you guys those homicide charges?
Yes.
Okay. What do you want people to know? I mean, this is freaking people out.
Yeah, I just want them to know that this was a very tragic case. It's not something that happens here in Jackson County, and I just want them to know that everybody around here, as far as law enforcement, they love their job, they love their community, and they do everything in their power to keep everyone safe. And unfortunately, when things happen, such as this, everybody works tirelessly to resolve a case, to give closure. And the community itself, they really step up and try to help us. It's amazing how much love is in a community when something tragic happens and they just start coming out wanting to help. And that's what Jackson County is. It's just like when Jonesboro had the hurricane or the tornado. Everybody started coming out, and it's not just Jackson County folks; it's the adjoining counties. All of Northeast Arkansas, and really Arkansas in general. That's just the way we are. That's the love we have, and I just want them to know that I myself, as the sheriff of the county, I love them and I appreciate everything they've done to help us.
Can you talk about the man hours? How many man hours went in? I'm assuming this dates back all the way to Wednesday.
It goes all the way back to Wednesday afternoon, and we're not done yet, so the man hours are still ticking.
Is that still a crime scene out there?
We have released the area at this time. It's the officers have already finished up processing the scene, so we have released it.
So what happens next?
The investigation continues. It don't stop. It don't stop until the case is adjudicated. So we've still got a lot of work to do, and we're going to get it done.
Are you guys going to be looking at any of the social media? Was there any?
I can't elaborate on that.
So we will be waiting on the prosecutor when it comes to official charges, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But he's been booked in.
He's been booked in on homicide. Yes.
And just to confirm, just to make sure we're on the same page, the prosecutor for this area.
Henry Boyce.
And so are you going to be talking with the prosecutor here, I guess, shortly after we get done to figure out what murder charge that's?
Yeah, we'll be talking with prosecutors we talk to them throughout this whole investigation, and then once everything's done, we will be sitting down with them and discussing where we go from here. Go ahead.
Well, unfortunately, I have to mention with Henry Boyce being the prosecutor, he's also working another big case. The support that he may need.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, Jackson County is very tight knit, but this is not the first large case coming out of this area.
This is not.
So this is definitely a hurtful thing. And with Boyce being on both, do you have any concerns?
No, I do not. The prosecutor, Mr. Boyce, and his team, in my opinion, they're top notch. They're very good at what they do. I have every confidence in them.
Sheriff, I kind of asked you this yesterday about the emotional toll. If you knew Sydney and Weatherford was definitely close to your heart as well,
mm-hmm.
How are you holding on right now?
I'm all right. It's a job. I do my job. I'll have time to reflect once the job's done. Okay, that it? All right.
All right. So now that we heard that the sheriff really didn't want to say much, what info he did give us was helpful, I believe.
He did, but it felt like, I'm not making light of it, but the reporters had an idea and they were playing 20 questions with him.
Right. That's what it seemed like. And that's a hard place to be in as a law enforcement officer, especially the sheriff of a county, because he knows, but he can't say anything. I know that we've watched all day long for this arrest affidavit to be posted, and it's not posted, which is odd in itself. It could be because it could be because this happened so late in the day. Like, he was arrested and booked and everything so on Friday. By the time his mugshot was up, you have to imagine that the clerk's office that puts all that information online was closed. So we might not see an arrest affidavit on Monday. The arrest affidavit will have some specifics in it that will give us a better idea of what actually happened to Sydney. So I think from what we know, this is just, and I think this is even speculation at this point, because the sheriff didn't confirm this either. What we have seen online is that Quake confessed.
Right.
And he said that he accidentally hit Sydney when he was driving his truck and she was running, and he freaked out and buried her body. However, law enforcement has said, and they said this when Sydney was still missing, when they were searching for her, and they said this again. I don't have it in front of me to quote it and show you guys, but it was said again after she was found in numerous media articles that there was no evidence of anybody being struck by a vehicle in any of the searches that they did. So that leaves a lot to the imagination, right?
Right. I'm sorry. I need to step away for like 1 second. I apologize.
Okay. With that being said, it could be many things. There's speculation. There is some heavy speculation that this had to do with Sydney's inheritance. And we're going to get back to that as soon as Amy comes back. We do know that the Lewellyn family are very prominent farmers in the area, and so is the Sutherland family. That speculation is based on Sydney inheriting land from her great-grandmother's death in February and Quake being upset about it. Do we know if that's true? We don't. We were able to pull up the will on Sydney's grandmother, and what's interesting about that is that, Sydney's great-grandmother. What's interesting about that is that her great-grandmother disinherited her children and gave everything to all of her grandchildren besides one. Sydney is one of those grandchildren that did receive the inheritance from the great-grandmother. And
I'm back. I'm sorry.
okay. Oh. So Sydney is one that did check or did receive inheritance from her great-grandmother. We've also found some loose ties. I think we're still looking at this, that Sydney's great-grandmother was a Smith. Her maiden name was Smith, and that Quake, sorry, I almost called him Quade, actually has some Smith relatives too. There's been some online speculation about them being like very distantly related, and I do think that's a possibility after what we saw last night, but I can't confirm it at this time. So
yeah, Danielle literally had a piece of paper and was screenshotting her trying to work the lineage. So
oh yeah, that was on Quake's cousin, his cousin
right.
Kelsey, who's got a whole nother story behind her. So yeah, there's a lot to know in here. I don't know where you want to start, Amy. You want to just start here with these slides and go from there?
Yeah, let's do that.
So Sydney's sister Summer posted this on I believe she posted this on the 20th. She said, this is at 1 p.m. on August 19th at our house. She went for a walk around 2:30 p.m. by her house on Highway 18. This is her email. If that helps at all, please help us find our Sassy. Sassy must have been Sydney's nickname. So you can see here she is alive and well on the 18th or 19th. She left her family home, which I believe was in Newport, and Sydney lived in Grubbs. So she traveled from Newport to Grubbs, which they're very close to each other. Newport is a town of less than 8,000 people, and Grubbs is less than 400 people. So you're talking about very small communities here. I'll move on to this one. Sydney was last seen jogging westward in the direction off of Highway 18 between Newport and Grubbs. The time was approximately 3 p.m.
Somewhere between 2:30 and 3 is what they're saying.
Right. I think a UPS driver saw her. I don't know if that's in this slide or not.
It is.
Okay.
It is, because you sent that to me, and I threw it in there. That's her missing poster. So it was on the Jackson County Sheriff's Department website.
Yes. And then these are just some different media articles.
Right. So this is just a meeting. Sorry, just an article from the Sun, and it just talks about how the investigation is still going. It's just, she got some good media coverage for a small town. She got some good media coverage right away. I will say that. So as we mentioned before, Sydney was a nurse, and she was employed by Unity Health Harris Medical Center. And this post reads, "All of us at Unity Health are deeply saddened to hear of the loss of our precious coworker, Sydney Sutherland. Our thoughts and prayers are with the family and friends. She will forever be missed." And this is the post from the UPS driver. A UPS driver also confirmed to authorities she saw Sutherland jogging near County Road 41 on the evening of August 19th. Jackson County Sheriff David Lucas said during a Thursday press conference, according to WMC TV. So I need to adjust something here. Bear with me, you all, one moment. This is real life. Oh dear. Here's what I'm gonna do. Bear with me 1 second. My phone went black and my iPad is mimicking it.
It's okay. I'm back. So this is Jonesboro.
It's just too small for me to read.
No, it's fine. Jonesboro Lifestyles actually posted this. This was seen yesterday. I'm sure most of you saw it. It says, "Just in, local farmer Quake Lewellyn." Hold on. Quake Lewellyn confessed to police that he was involved in the death of Sydney Claire Sutherland. Reports coming in that the suspect stated he hit her and panicked. Police are reporting there is no indication she was hit by a vehicle at this time. And then bullet point 2, Lewellyn was involved in the search party for Sutherland. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. There is a picture of Quake in all his glory. We were actually, he pulled his Facebook down today. We were able to get most of it. We got quite a bit off of his Facebook before it came down, but not all of it. And then there's Quake with his wife, Gracie. They actually married in 2017. They got engaged in 2016. It was kind of unclear when they started dating. It looked like 2015, which is, I think, around the same time that she got divorced. I'm not sure about the divorce date yet. And some more pictures of Quake and his wife, Gracie.
These are just some social media posts. He posted June 7th, 2017. Today we've been engaged for a whole year. Seems like it was just yesterday. I met the love of my life. I'll always remember the moment that I asked you to marry me, and I had to plan it all out in my head. A long speech you can't spell, and everything. But the moment I got on my knee and looked in your eyes to ask you, I got so lost in them, like I always do. And I was so nervous. I was stuttering and was barely able to utter the words I had planned to say. Thankfully, you cut me off with a yes before I could complete the question, which at the rate I was going would have taken hours, and made me the happiest man in the world. And still to this day, I see myself as happy as I'll ever be. I love you, Gracie Dawn, more than you'll ever know, and I can't wait until 1/12/19, and I can officially call you my wife. So then he posts, engaged to Gracie Dawn, June 7th, 2016. And he has some congratulatory posts.
Oh, this happened today.
I didn't post all of it.
Okay, I'm okay with elaborating on all of it. This gentleman here is Gracie's ex-husband. And this comment he made today, he said he's married to my ex-wife. I never got the vibe from him that he'd do anything like this. And I actually questioned him. If any of you are in our WTAF group, you know that we have threads going on Sydney's case. And Christina actually had found it last night where Gracie had filed a restraining order against Robert. And let me pull it up here, and I'll just read it, because he was not nice to me, and that's okay. He doesn't have to be nice to me. He doesn't have to like me. It's all good.
Danielle is being diplomatic.
Oh, I don't really care. I mean,
yeah, no, I mean, you shouldn't, but
yeah, it doesn't really,
it's always, when you're the recipient of such treatment, it's always your call on whether or not we share that. So, or the person, like, if it happened to me, it would be my call. If it happened to you, it's your call.
Yeah, I was the recipient of this today, so
yes, you were.
I'll just go ahead and share what he had to say, and then I'll go over the actual restraining order and read that, because Quake was involved in that, and it kind of contradicts what Mr. Esley is saying here a little bit. So, of course, he said this, and my reply to him was, and he went on further to say, I don't know if you got that in there. No. Okay. He went on to say, it's a terrible situation, that's my thoughts. I'm neither a cop or an investigator. My thoughts are, he's never shown around me any side of this kind of behavior. Granted, I don't know him personally outside of being the stepfather of my children. And I asked him, did you get back with Grace earlier this year? Because it looked like from reports that we pulled, they were at the same address. I said, she filed a protection order against you. I got to give it to him for wit on his reply to me. He said, I take things that are irrelevant and none of your business for $1,000.
Like he was on Jeopardy.
Yes, like we were on Jeopardy.
Yes. Like, hey, I'll take things that are relevant for $1,000, please.
Yes. He said, congratulations, you pulled a police report. Why would the situation lead you to believe there was a problem between myself and Quake? Did it say Quake got there 10 minutes before the cops and myself and him talked about the situation and we were in good standing? No. But you know what happens when you assume. Have a blessed day. I went on to explain to him how the court...
Sorry. The blessed day in this scenario is code for something else. Let's just.
Oh yeah, that was an FU. It's cool.
Mhm.
I can
Yeah.
handle it. So I said to him, I said, well, it was interesting that Quake's father was sitting in the driveway in a car. Michael was sitting in the driveway in the car when the cops pulled up, and you, Quake, and Gracie were in the front yard, and there was a big dispute. So, I mean, the police report seems to be a little contradictory to what he said. He's claiming Quake's a great guy. I say not so much. I can read what Gracie filed against her ex-husband. I don't even know if it's relevant, but it kind of paints a picture of what was going on in Quake's life, I guess, because this was just February.
Definitely.
It says on February 22nd, 2020 at 11:06 p.m., I received a call from my eldest daughter from her father's house. She stated that my ex-husband, Robert Esley, was drunk and had hurt her little sister, and they wanted to come home. I immediately went to Grubb's to pick them up. Upon arriving, my oldest was already outside waiting. Upon seeing me, rushed into the house to get, I'm going to change some words in this because I don't want to put this out on YouTube, to get my other children. My ex was already outside waiting on the front porch. He approached the car and told me the kids were being dramatic and not much of anything else. The kids quickly came and loaded up in my vehicle. The older kids were crying, clearly upset, and I told them one by one to tell me what happened. They all proceeded to tell me one by one the events as we drove home. According to them, Robert had been drinking and was getting annoyed at another child in the home. He told the other adult's parent he needed to teach these kids a lesson. He then grabbed the other child by the neck, and once he began crying, my child jumped up on him to get him to stop. He quickly grabbed my child and twisted her arm back almost to the point of breaking it. Several adults were telling him to let her go, but it took multiple events before he did. He then began laughing as my child ran off crying. There was 4 other adults and 6 other children present for the event. This will be the second time in 7 months I have had my children call crying, begging to come home because of a drunk physical altercation with their father. The police report included has both cases described. Upon returning home and experiencing the deep trauma he has inflicted on our children, I notified the police to press charges. All 3 of our children were deeply emotionally wounded. So there was a restraining order put in place, and the rest of this can be seen in our group. I'm not going to keep going on with it, but what's interesting is that when the law enforcement arrived, it says, this is from, I'm guessing, Patrol Sergeant Thatcher. It says, upon my arrival, I observed a vehicle running in the driveway with Michael Lewellyn in it. I then observed 2 males and a female in the front yard, and they appeared to be verbally arguing. I approached the people in the yard, and Gracie, the mother of the victim, advised that her ex-husband, Robert Esley, had their kids this weekend, and he had been drinking, and their 13-year-old daughter was hanging on Robert's neck, and he turned around and twisted her arm almost to the point of breaking it. So what the officer was describing was like a verbal argument between Quake and Gracie and Robert in the front yard. It looks like there was chaos in Quake's life, at least when it came to this kind of stuff.
Right.
With his stepkids and his wife, not making excuses. We're just trying to paint a portrait of what was going on behind the scenes here in this man's life who...
It was not peaceful out in the country.
It was not.
No.
It was not.
There was a lot of like extraneous energy and conflict and yeah.
So while that information might be not directly related, it is related to Quake's life.
It is.
And
it paints a picture.
It does. Yes.
So,
yeah.
I just included some media clips in here. There's one Authorities recovered her cell phone about a quarter mile from her home Thursday night. Her vehicle and other personal items were left at her home. Search dogs and an Arkansas State Police helicopter were called in to look for her. And then Logan Whaley from KAIT tweeted yesterday at 2:29 p.m. Law enforcement agencies have closed down County Roads 41 and 49. We're waiting to confirm, but we've been hearing that a bracelet might have been found. And then let's see. Then I have a slide, and this is interesting. It's just a portion of a Facebook conversation. Why can I talk? I'm tongue-tied. A portion of a Facebook conversation. And it says, yeah, his name used to be Jeremy Davis. And then somebody says, why does he have a different name? And then somebody said, has his name changed either before he graduated or after? I went to high school with him and he was Jeremy Davis. So we believe he changed his name in order to match his stepfather, correct?
Yes, we have that in our group as well. We were able to locate the obituary last night of his biological grandfather, and Quake is included in that obituary. He is included with both his new name Quake and his real name, which is Jeremy Howard Davis Jr. His biological father is Jeremy Howard Davis Sr. And Quake was actually adopted by his mom's husband, Michael Lewellyn. When he was adopted, I believe it was when he was like 17 or 18 years old. He not only changed his last name, he took the first name Quake, like earthquake, but he took the earth off and just went with Quake Howard Lewellyn. People have said that was a childhood nickname. We don't know. If there's anybody in the chat that knows him, let us know. Because there's a lot of mystery here. There's a lot to figure out, and we have very little facts and a lot of speculation.
Right.
And it makes it very hard for us to do what we do. I can't make this any... I can't zoom in on this. I hope you guys can see it. If you can't, you can turn your phone sideways and it'll get bigger.
Sorry. This was just this is for irony. So I want you to keep in mind, this is dated May 27th, 2016, and it's a Facebook post by Quake Lewellyn. Probably going to be arrested. I'm waiting for the police now. I'm not going to run and make things worse. I messed up, lost control of my temper, and I must face the consequences of my actions. If I could have a do-over, things would be different. If I'm fortunate enough to see my family again when this is over, it would be good. I would message everyone individually, but I thought it'd be easier just to post it on here. I promise you I will never forget anyone or the amazing memories I've had. I'm going to miss every single one of you that I know and that treated me like family. I love you all so much. I promise to get better and do better, especially this isn't really... I'm sorry, I messed it up. Especially because this isn't real, and you should post it as your status and see how many people actually read stuff till the end before they fall for it. LOL, sorry, folks. And it's just kind of one of those things that you read it and you think, wow.
Right. The irony in that he posted that, and now he's sitting in jail today.
Mm-hmm. You could have written that last night.
Right. Deer Hunter down there said that he is familiar with the family. If you want to come on and talk and maybe help fill in some blanks with Quake, that would be amazing. You can remain anonymous and you don't have to go on camera. So if you'd like to do that, let me know.
We do have somebody in the chat that knows the Lewellyn family. And
okay.
That was kind of I'm just going to be honest with everybody. That was kind of the little, I have to step away and little pauses there. They do not want to come on. So they just messaged me and said that Quake's biological dad is Jeremy Davis, but I've always heard his mom call him Quake. So that
Okay.
must have been like a family nickname or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what it sounds like. Again, if there's if you don't feel comfortable coming on, that's completely okay. We understand. But if there's anybody that does know Quake and wants to come on and be anonymous, you don't have to say your name. You don't have to show your face. We could maybe help put some pieces together and shut down some speculation, because the speculation is real in this case. And I know that the speculation, just from witnessing what I've witnessed online, I know it's truly bothering Sydney's family. I think any of us who follow true crime, we see that happen in every
Yeah.
clip that we follow, and it's very, very hard on the families. I understand. Thank you, dear Hunter. It's horrible for the family. I guess if I could give the family any advice as an outsider looking in, not that I'm telling anybody what to do, but I would probably stay away from social media.
Definitely. Social media is very difficult for the relatives of victims who are victims themselves, and especially when they get into true crime discussion groups, because it's hard for them to hear the things being discussed. And what often happens is they emotionally react, which is expected, and they try to determine the narrative or the dialogue, and can't do that in a discussion group. And it sounds very cold, and it's never meant this way when it is said, but they're not comfort groups for families. They're not therapy groups, because we're not therapists. They're discussion groups.
Yes. Andrea K asked, oops. Hold on, I didn't mean to put that up there. But you're right, sensible crime. Many true crime groups pass. Yeah, that happened. I think that's just the nature of social media. Andrea K asked, whose baby boy was Alex that drowned in the pool? So Alex was Michael's technically unbiological cousin, but he's adopted by the Lewellyn. So Michael Lewellyn is Quake's legal father. His brother's daughter, Kelsey, has 2 children. Just a little over a year ago, there was a huge investigation into her because her children were found wandering the streets naked. And when law enforcement arrived and went in her house, they said they couldn't even walk through the house because of animal feces and waste and garbage and rotten food in every room and all of that. So she was arrested for that, and her kids were taken away. I don't know how she got them back, but she got them back. And those 2 children, one of their names was Alex, and he drowned in a pool about 2 weeks ago, I believe it was, while he was in his mother's care, and she's now charged. So it's completely unrelated to Quake, like this crime, Sydney and all of that, as far as we know. But it's another thing that's happened in Quake's life. Not painting him as a victim whatsoever, because he's not. Just saying that this man had some serious things going on in his life, between issues with his stepchildren's father to his cousin, minor child cousin, baby, like 3 or 4 years old, drowning, and his cousin being charged for that. There's a lot of things going on in this case. There's a lot of backstory here, and we're still trying to dig through it and figure it out.
There just seems to be a lot of chaos and tragedy, and anytime you hear somebody's house is in that condition, you think drugs or mental illness. There's a lot going on.
Yes. Yeah. All right. Oh, I didn't see this. So there's Quake's Twitter, it looks like, right?
Mm-hmm.
Last tweet was on December 25th, Christmas of 2012. Didn't have much to say on Twitter, did he? But I would imagine, I mean, that was 8 years ago, so that's probably not the vehicle that he was driving today or this week.
No.
That's another question I think we had. Does anybody know, was there a vehicle impounded in this case? Like, did they impound a vehicle belonging to Quake? Did anybody local see like a vehicle being towed away from his? I know he didn't live in Newport County. I believe he lived in Jonesboro. So
Yeah, that was one of the things that I had asked you this afternoon. It was, did they impound a vehicle? I mean, there's a rumor about a car, but
yeah. Another thing though is
Deer Hunter says yes, a vehicle was impounded. Do you know what kind of a car? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just didn't want to miss that.
one thing I did consider with this is that when you listen to the sheriff's press conference, he said that sorry, Huskies, they're going to talk. Quake said, I'm sorry, the sheriff said that Quake came into the state police department to be interviewed or to speak. So it's possible that his vehicle was already at the state police department, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's a distinct possibility. Stargazer.
Those kids were her sister's two kids?
And then not
Huh.
the one says the kids are her nieces and nephews and family.
Okay, I think you guys are getting confused.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a sister. Hold on one moment.
No problem. Yeah, the Huskies want some input. Yeah, Luna Girl, you can look up on impounds. We're just as we're getting closer to going tonight and we got the other news, we honestly we ran out of time. Yeah, coat him many colors. He is a good sheriff, and you know, the fact that he has a personal relationship with the Sutherland family and knows of the Lewellyns as well is interesting. So Stargazer says, no, Sydney's sister's kids. Okay. Oh, Clay London, are you local? Do you know the families, and would you be willing to come on and talk to us? Because it would be very helpful to have somebody.
It would be very helpful.
Because we don't want to perpetuate rumors. We deal with facts here. So
Right.
even though we're talking it out, even just mentioning it sometimes imprints what somebody might take with them and travel somewhere else as fact. And we're just really trying to get to the truth.
Okay. Emma Llewell Loveday, nothing happened to the dogs. If you're talking about my dogs, my Huskies, this is like their playtime at night. So I just had my son put them outside because they like to wrestle and howl and jump all around and play, and we don't need that in the background right now. And definitely Play London, if you would like to come on and maybe help us clarify some stuff, that would be great. Again, you can remain anonymous. You don't have to put your picture up there.
No, you can just help navigate, an area in a town where we don't know a lot about, and just kind of help clear up some things, because it's just easier to get the root of it with somebody that already knows it than trying to dig through this. And like I said, every time we mention something that may or may not be or is not a fact, it complicates things later on.
Yes.
So,
I do have slow mode on, so he can't comment right away, Amy.
That's all right.
There was a comment up here that I wanted.
He
This
just
is-
said, or he or she just said, I will answer anything I can.
Okay, if I drop you a link, do you want to come on here and talk? You don't have to go on camera. It's easy.
And be just like us.
Jen B said, in order for them to hold or charge him with capital murder, there would have to be a rape or something else involved, correct? Instead of just charging him with murder one, right? I do believe you're correct. A capital murder usually comes into play when there are other circumstances involved in the crime.
Or it's murder that occurs in the commission of another crime.
Right. There's
Yeah.
many factors.
Mhm.
Like Honey Hush just said, capital murder can also be premeditation.
Yep.
Murder that occurs in the commission of a crime, an example would be kidnapping. I'm not saying that's what he did.
Mhm.
That's just an example. It could have been robbery or anything. If you kill somebody while you're committing another crime, then the level of murder goes up to capital murder. If it is a capital murder state. Or I should say, if it's a death penalty state.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. What does Christina say? According to public records, the only inheritance Sydney has received from her grandmother that passed in February 2020. There's nothing between Sydney and Quake's family.
Yeah, we haven't found anything about that.
No.
Yeah, as far as Sydney's sister's kids, I'm not sure what's being said, but Stargazer, you're welcome to message us. You can find us on Facebook, or you can even email us at wickedtruths@wtaf.net. I can put the banner up there. So let's see. So you have it. There is our email. You can email us there with anything that you want to share or further. Yeah, Sydney has no kids. Correct. All right, so let's move on to the next slide. Sorry, I get distracted a little bit sometimes, guys. I'm flying all over my computer and my phone.
No.
I hear yours going off too. Okay, so
it is. I'm sorry. I can't. Every time I turn the volume off on something else comes alive. I feel like I'm playing whack-a-mole over here.
yeah. This is something I wanted to clarify. I saw this question asked a lot across social media when people were asking about Quake's criminal record and if he could possibly have any other charges within the state of Arkansas. And just to clarify, there's my dogs again. Just to clarify, the website that Arkansas uses is a statewide website. So it actually will pull up every county in the state automatically when you search somebody's name. So the only criminal charges that Quake had before yesterday when he was charged with capital murder was it was a traffic charge for having tinted windows. It was a Class B misdemeanor, driving a vehicle with improper window tinting.
Yeah, very, very minor.
Right.
And, we just put it in there because,
I think we just wanted to clarify because I have seen that question asked a lot. Could Quake have more charges in other counties that we're not seeing? And as far as I know, the answer is no, because this website, like I said, is it's statewide across the state of Arkansas. So if he had charges in another county, it would pull up. You would see more than the two cases that you see that pull up. And the one that pulls up, I believe, is more like a civil matter. So, and then this is the obituary of
Vonnie Sutherland.
Yes, this is Sydney's great grandmother, who just passed away in February.
It's I know it's small, but Mrs. Vonnie V. Smith Sutherland of Grubbs, Arkansas, departed this life on Sunday, February 16th, 2020, at the age of 91. She was born September 21st, 1928, in Waldenburg, the daughter of Henry Owen and Zadie Bird Ferris Smith. Mrs. Sutherland worked many years with her husband, sons, and grandsons on their farm. She had many hobbies, including cooking, sewing, gardening, canning, and quilting. She loved collecting beanie babies in villages. She was a member of the Grubbs Church of Christ, and her greatest joy was the time she spent helping raise her grandchildren. She is survived by her grandsons, Dion Sutherland and wife Maggie, and Chad Sutherland, one sister, Maisel Prince, 3 great-grandchildren, Tyler and wife Christy, Sam and wife Summer, and Sydney, 1 great-grandchild, Mila Jo, and 3 special friends, and it goes on towards the end.
Yeah, it's actually interesting to read it because if you notice in there, her children are not mentioned. Her children.
Sydney's parents, yes.
Right.
Sydney and Summer's parents.
No. Sydney and Summer's parents are mentioned. Maggie and Dion.
Right. You're right.
So this is Sydney's great grandmother. But the parents of Dion and his siblings are not mentioned.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
And that is put in there because Danielle will show you that the will was located for Vonnie. And you can see where there were certain people not included. Do you want me to read this, or?
If you want to, that's up to you.
It's short. We'll go ahead and read it. And so, last will and testament of Vonnie Sutherland, and it was filed June 10th of 2020. Know all men by these presents that I, Vonnie Sutherland, of 203 West Linda, Newport, Jackson County, Arkansas, do hereby make, publish, and declare this to be my last will and testament, hereby revoking any and all other wills by me at any time herefore made. I direct that all my just debts, including the expense of my burial and inheritance taxes, if any, be paid by my executor, hereinafter named, as soon after my death is practicable. I declare that I am widowed, and that both of my children, Bobby Joe Sutherland and Gary Lynn Sutherland, predeceased me. Gary Lynn Sutherland died without issue, and Bobby Joe Sutherland died leaving 2 children, Jason Chad Sutherland and Bobby Dion Sutherland. I purposefully make no provision herein for Bobby Dion Sutherland. Under the provisions of Section 2825-107 of the Arkansas Probate Code, I have prepared or may hereafter prepare and will or may place with this instrument a list disposing of items of tangible personal property not otherwise specifically disposed of by this will. And I expressly direct that my executor shall make disposition of such personal property in accordance with such lists, regardless of any of the provisions herein contained which may affect the disposition of the same. I give, devise, and bequeath my vehicle, currently a 2008 Buick Lucerne, to my sister Maisel Prince. I give, devise, and bequeath all the jewelry that I may own at the time of my death to my great-granddaughter Sydney Clara Sutherland, and to Maisel Prince in equal shares. So she clearly cuts out Bobby Dion Sutherland in here. Let's see. It goes on to the next page. I give, devise, and bequeath all my remaining property, whether it be real, personal, or mixed, to be split equally between Jason Chad Sutherland and Maisel Prince, or to the survivor if one of them shall predecease me. I hereby nominate, constitute, and appoint Jason Chad Sutherland and Maisel Prince as co-executors of my estate, so long as they are willing and able to serve. If either are unable or unwilling to serve, the other may serve alone. I request that no person named in this section 7 be required to post a bond of any kind in order to serve as executor. And then it's just the witnessing language. And then there is another page, and it's just the proof of will. So that's just legal dotting I's and crossing T's.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
You guys probably saw two of me up there for a minute. Did you?
Are you? No, I didn't see it because I was looking at something else. Did you asexually reproduce?
I became a twin for a moment.
Oh, your unborn twin came to life?
Yes. Yep. I joined from another app just to look at something.
How funny.
Okay, so these are the farms that we have found in relation to the Sutherlands and the Lewellyns. And this is really interesting, isn't it, Amy?
It is. Very.
You can look through these and you see, like, there's the Dion Sutherland Farms LLC. And if you go down, it shows the status as revoked. Then over to the middle picture is Lewellyn Farms Incorporated, status revoked. And then we go to Q&M Lewellyn Farms Incorporated, which was Quake. I'm guessing it's Quake and Michael. That's what Q&M stands for.
Right.
And that status was also revoked. So up until this moment, we have not been able to find any active business entities for any three of these farms. We might be missing it. We're still going to look and dig, but it's just interesting that they're all just revoked.
It is. And I wish they had a date for when it was revoked because,
Right.
you know, that we have the filing dates but so we have 2003, 1999, and then Q&M Llewellyn Farms Inc. is
Right.
most recently filed. So it's like, was there some sort of struggle over, or were they leasing? You can't get a clear picture of what they were doing.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, you can't. You can see that one Llewellyn Farms was based out of Jonesboro, and then the one that Quake had is actually in Newport. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll figure out the answer to this. We just don't know it at the moment.
Right. But it's there. If you feel like digging, take a screenshot.
Yes.
Please let us know what we find. So.
Okay, and this was in regards to Kelsey. I think we can just skip that one for now. That's causing confusion. Oh, yeah. So let's look at these. Let's see if we can go to these. Do you know the next slide? Did you screenshot these links?
No, they're clickable.
Yeah, I just don't know if my computer. Let's see if is it showing my screen changing? Or is it showing?
No, it's not. And I tested them, and I'm sorry about that.
No, it's not. No, it's not your fault. It's just how it's how StreamYard works. Even if I click a link. So it's okay. I'll share the other screen.
Okay.
Let's share the screen. Look, there I am. Two of me.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Yes.
The slide after this is the article for Farm Family of the Year. If you want, while you're doing that, I can read it.
Yeah, I think, well, I should be there in just one moment, actually.
Okay. All right.
Like
I'll just
30 seconds.
I'll take a look at the chat, see what's going on. Let's see. Dion and Maggie are her parents. No, Dion isn't. Okay, so there's some struggle over that, so I won't talk about that right now.
Dion and Maggie are the parents of. They are the parents of Sydney.
Right. So, but Christina's saying that's why I don't want to.
Yeah, I don't know what they're saying.
Yeah. Viking American, see if they owe any back taxes. You can check it out at the county website. Okay. They could have been leasing the land back from the county if they lost it due to a tax lien. Yeah, that's why I think I used the wrong term, but I know in our family, not my side of the family, but on my other half side of the family, they lease land for farming. So it can get confusing when you're looking at things. So that is some good advice. Thank you, Viking American. 2 Danielles. Yep, there are. Let's see. Diana W says, I'm wondering if their farm status was revoked, meaning they save a lot of taxes by being a farm. To keep the status, they usually have to produce a certain amount of proceeds to keep their status. So let me think about that for a second. That's actually a possibility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's one Sutherland farm. Here's one Sutherland farm information. That's their subsidies. And then there's another. We're going to go to Quade's because I don't want to really go to. Let's see if that one was the Lewellyns. Oh, I can get it. 1 second. I got it. That cracks me up. You guys, I have to go on my phone and remove myself from being on there twice.
No, Stargazer, they didn't release anything about Sydney. The condition of her body. That'll be, I mean, we've all seen rumors. All we know, and if we're going to speculate, I mean, all we know is that they identified her body via DNA. We can speculate on that, but other than that, no confirmed information. A lot of rumors.
Yes, tons of rumors. Mm-hmm. Okay, so this one is Quade's farm. Quake. I'm going to call him QL because I want to call him Quade.
That sounds like cool.
Yeah.
He's so not.
I know.
No, go ahead.
So this is some information we found about his farm. I don't know how he began farming in 95 when he's only 28 years old, but maybe it just goes back to 95. Looks like he became active in like 2011-ish. And this is through 2019, so this is current. This is just his personal information on farming. We don't know where else he's involved and all of that, or where else he could be making money. But he is. These are subsidies that he's gotten for rice, soybeans, wheat, and what's that last word? I don't know that name. I don't know what that is.
I have to
Sorghum?
look. Yeah. Is it
Yeah.
SORGUM?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just some basic information to show that he is in the farming industry.
Oh dear.
Yeah, here is right. I'm gonna put Sydney's slides back up there just to get.
They say you should call him Quack.
Quack? Can we call him Quack?
Yeah. Quack works for me.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Yep, I do too. That works. It'll be harder to mess that up. Not that you're messing up, but you know what I mean? Like even.
Oh yeah, I know what you're saying.
The more cases you look at, the more you find names in common, and there's a Hardin here and a Sydney here, and it's just like it's overwhelming. Keeping everybody straight.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody said we need to look up Jeremy Davis criminal record.
I have actually. I did yesterday, and I didn't find anything, but that doesn't mean that I didn't look correctly, because there's a high chance of that. Sometimes I'm a little.
No, I would say most of the time now that records have come a long way. Even with a name change in a state database, they will link most of the time. You can't count on it.
Mm-hmm.
But
so this is where I come in with, like, my thoughts come in about the name change and stuff, and people are saying that he changed his name because of previous crimes that he committed as like a teenager. And the crimes that they were accusing him of were horrendous. I'm not even gonna elaborate on them, because I have a huge problem with animal abuse, and this is some of them involved that. He would have been old enough to be charged as an adult, and even when you change your name, your social security number does not change. So if you're convicted of a crime at the age of 18 years old under the name of Jeremy Davis, and then you then change your name to Quake Lewellyn, that's still going to follow you because of your social security number, and then you're going to have aliases, right? They're going to, most criminal databases across the country, when you look somebody up, it will tell you if there's an alias.
Right.
For the person. So
yeah, but keep in mind that, like, I'm just going to discount what I just said when I say this. Keep in mind that you don't always have in a criminal booking a social security number.
Right.
So does that, you get what I'm saying?
Yes.
So
I do.
Yeah, it's it's surprising. I lost my social security card about, I don't know, like 8 years ago when I moved into this home, and I could not, and I couldn't. So somewhere I lost. This is sad. Somewhere in a folder, somewhere in this house is my passport, my social security card, and my birth certificate.
Mm-hmm.
And I know it's not lost outside the home. It's just one of those things, you know what I mean? Like you put it in a folder and then you packed your house, and for all I know, it's under like Easter decorations somewhere.
Right.
But my birth certificate was very hard to acquire because of the state I was born in. And I literally had to get I'm lucky that my parent is still alive and was able to do it for me. It made it a lot easier. The passport was easy to replace, but there were still some hoops I had to jump through because they weren't buying that it was lost, and it was a whole thing. But the Social Security card, good grief. I could have changed my name on it. I could have done it. I got it in like 3 days. It was ridiculous. If that is supposed to be the thing that like identifies us and carries our credit rating and all that stuff, I couldn't believe how easy. I did it online. I never left my house.
Mm-hmm.
It's insane.
Right.
So they're saying Sydney's boyfriend Alex, his family they're big farmers too. In that area. So
I've heard that.
Yeah.
I've heard that. I've also heard that Quake was around Sydney's boyfriend daily somewhere. Can anybody confirm that?
So the people that are sharing this information, maybe somebody can answer this. Is this a case where there's one person, whether it's the Sutherland family or if it's the Nicholson family or what have you, that is leasing land out to the other? I mean, I know there's more families in that county than we're talking about here, but is there a major family that leases out this land to these other farms? Because that might make sense. So, like, for instance, does Alex Nicholson's family lease land from the Sutherlands, and then the Sutherlands lease land to Quellyn?
That's possible. That is completely possible.
And if we could get that kind of like hierarchy going, that would help.
Yeah.
That would make our jobs a little bit easier to figure out.
Am I done echoing? That was my fault.
You are. It was for
Okay.
a minute, and it was nothing.
Yeah.
I kind of liked it.
Did you? It should have been really low, like very, very low.
No, I kind of liked it. I was like, I don't know. I was having a Mork and Mindy moment.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, yeah, it's late Saturday.
Yeah. Do you guys want me to read this article about Farm Family of the Year about the Lewellyns? I'm happy to read it if you want me to. I know you can't really read it on the screen. If you want me to read it, tell me. If not, I'll skip past it.
I've got 2 people in Messenger that are both trying to answer our questions right now. So I'm just watching the little ellipsis bounce back and forth.
Okay. No, you guys don't want to hear the article. Thank you.
I like it when you guys answer us because I hate it when we're like,
Yeah, skip it. Thank you.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to not do it if this is more of the article of where they were featured in a local magazine. I'm going to skip that and go to this picture. This is a picture of Quake and his family. I'm going to try to point out who is who. So Quake is right here. There's Gracie. Marsha is up here, his grandmother. I believe this is his grandfather over here. This is Quake's father, Michael, and his mother. So, this was kind of an interesting post. This came from the Jackson County Emergency Management. It says Sheriff Lucas said he knew the Sutherlands personally and described her death as tragic. This post went on to say, I'm sitting here trying to find the words to say, and I can't find none. No words can take away the pain Sydney's family is feeling. I'm a mother myself, and my heart is absolutely breaking for her parents. Our condolences to the Sutherland and Nicholson families. There was thank you to the hundreds of volunteers that showed up over the last 3 days to search for her, as well as Jackson Funeral Home, Barefoot Inn, Jonesboro, Newport Walmart. Lots of things going out there. So,
well, let's remember too. I know it was mentioned in the chat, but just to reiterate that Quake Lewellyn was part of these active searches. He did the textbook thing where he reinserted himself into the process. Not only was he in that Facebook group for Sydney Sutherland,
and he joined that Facebook group on August 21st, which is the day she was found.
right?
So that's crazy.
Yeah, so I mean, this isn't going to make a big difference. You know, this isn't anything I'm going to say is right now is not going to be profound, but it's interesting because he's so close to the family. Would it be more odd that he didn't join the Facebook groups or that he did? Because he is the person currently charged.
Right.
Would it look bad if he wasn't searching? It certainly looks bad that he was. It's kind of a catch-22.
Right. I'm going to play this video. I tried to play it earlier, guys, and it kind of skipped over. A lot of you probably saw it yesterday, but this is just to give you an idea, if you're not from the area, of where the search occurred yesterday and the road that was blocked off. If any locals know, we are trying to pinpoint the exact property that Sydney was found on. And we're, again, struggling with that because it's so hush-hush. No, we don't want him. Not that we don't like watching him because he's nice, but...
Where, but we're just north of Highway 67, and you can see that a deputy is blocking off the access road. Now, I've seen law enforcement go in and out of that area, but again, they did find her phone yesterday. More Norwich efforts there. The sheriff did have a press conference at 1 this afternoon before Sutherland's body was found, and he talked about how this case hits close to home.
Just kind of personal.
Okay, so I don't know how to get out of that.
Oh no. So it sounds like and I've included this for our team, the WTAF team, but it sounds like there is somebody local who owns the majority of the land, and of course the land all interconnects at some point. And so I have that name, and so we will have to go back and research based on that. I don't want to
of Highway 67, and you can see that a deputy is blocking off the access road. Now, I've seen law enforcement go in and out of that area, but
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm not talking.
Are you there, Amy?
That was yeah.
Oh,
I'm
sorry.
here.
No, you're good.
Hello?
I can hear you.
Oh, okay. I wasn't talking. The video was still playing.
Oh. No, it started playing again when you were talking. But
okay. All I was saying is that so we do have some local people that are providing us with some information, and there does seem to be a majority landowner in that area, and of course all of the properties connect at some point. And so we have that name. I send it to a message to our WTAF team to research. And we'll have to do that later and come back to you. But it looks like we're going to be able to maybe sort some of this stuff out, which is good. So thank you guys.
Okay. Yeah. Definitely. Thank you. I don't know that we really have anything else to go over unless we just want to kind of talk to the chat and see what they're saying down there.
No, I think we check in with the chat, and then we have some things to look into.
Yeah, Clay said the small town of 386 will never be the same. Yeah, I can't imagine. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I can't remember. Stargazer, are you local? Says, so is everybody just assuming that he meant to kill her? What happened with the accidentally hit her allegation? Could this be more innocent than we were making it out to be? Well, this is my opinion. Even if you hit somebody accidentally, if you let people search for her because you hit her and you volunteer for that search, there's nothing innocent about it.
Right. Well, you have to ask, even with his
Cleveland. Go ahead. Sorry.
With the confession that we know about, I mean, if you hit somebody with your vehicle, you call 911. You get help. I mean, accidents do happen. They do.
They do.
And
even I will even say this. Even if you hit somebody with your car and you freak out and you panic and you move them off the road and you go and bury them, 2 hours later, when you are having a panic attack, you call 911 and you tell them what you did. You do not let people search for them.
Right.
And you don't help with that search. That's where the problem comes in.
Yeah. And capital murder isn't, you know, like Not the One said, capital murder is not normal. Did he stalk her? I think that's a legitimate question. I think that's a fair question. But like Not the One said, capital murder is not normal for hit and run.
Right.
And Betty Smith said, they charged him almost immediately with capital murder. So they were certain that it was intentional. There has to be intent with capital murder. Right? I mean,
right. Clay Linden says, my theory is he wanted her sexually and she rejected him, so he stalked her and took her.
That's interesting. I've heard a couple of people say that, and you have to wonder, I mean, was he a sexual deviant? Was he a predator? Because he seemed to be happy, or he portrayed that he was happy in his marriage, right?
Right.
Not that people actually portray what's really going on in life, because I am a firm believer that a lot of people, when they use social media, they create an illusion, right? They put out all the good, happy, fun things, and it's all sunshine and rainbows. But in reality, life isn't easy for a lot of us, for most of us. I don't know a person that doesn't go through ups and downs and trials and tribulations in life.
Right.
So,
well, the other thing is you really can't ever look at somebody and say, well, they looked happy in their relationship and their marriage, not just because of what you just said, but because of because of the crime classification index that law enforcement uses. And sexual assault is not a crime of lust. It is not motivated by lust.
Right.
It's power and it's violence.
Right. That's why I said, you know, is he a sexual deviant? I was, I guess, more going along the aspect of seeing comments. Well, people were saying, well, he was married. Well, just because he was married doesn't mean that he wasn't a sexual deviant.
But what I'm saying is that wouldn't even classify him as a sexual deviant. It would be more of a case where maybe she didn't notice him, or his perception was that she acted like she was too good for him or something like that. And so he became to hate her so much that the most violent and humiliating way to get back at her would be sexual assault.
Yeah, I could see that. I think if we are considering the other missing woman that we spoke about when we began, if you take that into consideration, and if that media source that printed that article is accurate in saying that he's being questioned about, let me get her picture up here about her disappearance in 2018, was it?
Mm-hmm.
So then would you have a sexual deviant on your hands?
Well, it would depend on what happened to her.
Okay.
I mean, I think what it is like we're using sexual deviant, and I think maybe we're talking about the same thing, and I just got hung up on the word.
Probably, I think so.
Yeah. Because, yeah. I think that's what it is. Because sexual deviant is more, has a different definition, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
I just saw something when they were talking in the chat about Maui Girl says he hurts animals, so that says something. I don't know anything about that. Do you? I'm not.
Me? I've heard. Yeah, I've heard that he
You've
hurt
heard.
animals. Yes.
Okay, that's a rumor then. Okay.
That's a rumor. I don't know if
Okay.
it's true.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about it because it makes me sick.
Yeah. No. Please don't.
It had something to do with actions that he did when he was a teenager with harming animals in a very vicious way that involved fire.
Oh.
But I do think, I don't know what I think. I want to know more about.
Well, that's interesting because that's the triad. You know, the triad is bedwetting, fire, and the torturing of animals. So if he's got 2 out of 3.
Yeah, that's definitely interesting. I wish we had more facts, and everybody keeps saying the same thing. And it's hard to ignore it, even though it's speculation, Amy, is that this is a small town.
Oh, yeah.
Very small. And everybody is saying
the same things.
Local is that she was raped, beaten, and burned. I have seen people suggest that they need to go and search his property for other victims.
Right.
You know, and when you look at the case of Brooke Allensworth and that article coming out today saying that he's, sources are saying that he's being interviewed in relation to Brooke.
Yeah, that's alarming.
Yes.
No, it's highly alarming. Yeah.
You have to wonder what else has happened if all these accusations are true. If is what I'm saying. I don't want anybody to take them. Don't take this to the bank and say it's true because we don't have proof of that. I am a firm believer, though, when you hear the same thing over and over and over again, that there's usually some substance behind it.
Right. Especially in a town that small, because if it was something outrageous, somebody would correct it. And it would, yeah. So, and we're seeing right here people that are local saying the same thing in our chat. So,
yeah.
Lynn, okay, so for the people that are talking about hit and run and then abuse of a corpse, I get what you're trying to say, but that wouldn't be a capital murder charge.
This actually reminds me of the case of Sierra Jogging. It happened in rural Ohio. And I'm not saying that it's not even really right of me to compare the two, but I'm going to do it anyways because there's some striking similarities here. So Sierra was riding her bike in a very desolate part of Ohio, and she went for a bike ride with her boyfriend, right? And Her and her boyfriend split ways for her boyfriend to ride home to his house and for Sierra to ride home to her house. And when Sierra was riding home to her house, a man named James Worley got her and took her back to his property, which was very close. He did horrible things to her, and he buried her in the middle of a field. So I just see similarities.
Yeah, no, there's definite similar. You know, I'm embarrassed because I don't remember the victim's name. I remember him. I remember his name.
James Worley.
Mm-hmm.
I think I sent you the trial.
That's what it was.
Yeah,
Yes.
the trial is absolutely unbelievable to watch because he went on a like hour and a half tirade.
Yeah.
At the end, he's something.
For all of you guys out there, sometimes late at night, Danielle and I tell each other trials each other should watch.
Yeah. If anybody ever wants to give me a good suggestion of what trial to watch, I'm all about it because I love watching trials.
Or if you need suggestions about what trials to watch, we have all the links.
Yes, we have a lot of links. Everybody is asking who Brooke is. Brooke Allensworth is missing. She has been missing since July 12th, 2018. If you're just joining, we spoke about this in the very beginning. She went missing from the Newark and Oil Trough area. It looked like she was traveling to Newport, Arkansas. She got a flat tire and tried to fix it. Her car was found abandoned. She has never been seen again. She was driving a black 2007 Toyota Camry, and her car was found near the White River and Oil Trough. And like Amy had said in the beginning, there's some similarities with Sydney's case because Brooke was also a nurse and Sydney was a nurse. And Brooke had dyed her hair blonde. What did you say, Amy? It was like 2 or 3 days prior?
Yeah, it was like 2 or 3 days prior. Yeah.
Yeah. She had dyed her hair blonde 2 or 3 days prior to her disappearance. And there was an article earlier. I'm not going to read the whole thing because I already read it. But the article did end by saying that, let me scroll down my camera roll. It said that Brooke had never arrived at her destination when she went missing. According to a source, Lewellyn is being questioned in the disappearance of Allensworth as well.
That is very, very interesting.
Yes, I'm going to get the link to that and I'll drop it again for that article that we were referencing when we first came on here.
We do. And we need to probably, as a homework assignment somewhere, maybe in the comments, I can post the link to the Dateline for Allensworth. So we can kind of catch up on that and see. I mean, there's more than that, but they do a good job giving you a summary, and you can dig from there if you want to.
Yes. Sorry, I can't type and talk at the same time. You know how some people can like chew gum and walk at the same time?
That's okay.
That's me when it comes to typing.
Yeah.
I gotta hold on.
Yeah.
A different way.
So let's see. Jen B is defining. Let me just make sure I'm up to date with the chat here, because I will tell you guys, I went to go move in the house for a particular reason, and somebody had booby trapped the house with a Pennywise thing that like laughs. It's like motion censored, and that's right when Danielle started talking to me, so I'm a little like But anyway, little kids, fun. Jen B, capital murder. The victim is killed during the commission of another violent felony such as armed robbery, kidnapping, arson, etc. The victim is tortured, raped, or sexually assaulted. So that's good. Is that specific to Arkansas, or is that just curious? And then
I'm curious if who said that? I'm sorry.
Jen B.
Jen B, are you a criminologist by chance? You don't have to say if you are, but if you are. Because I saw a criminologist commenting earlier, and I'd really like to speak with them.
Right. And then, yeah, you just highlighted Shalina says capital murder must have aggravating circumstances, murder committed during the commission of another felony, such as rape or abduction. So we're talking about false imprisonment, sexual assault. Yeah.
Okay, and that is specific to Arkansas. Every state is different, but I think most states are pretty similar when it comes to capital murder. There's always mitigating circumstances that lead to that.
Ooh, there's somebody after your own heart down here. Liz Lowry, Ezra McCandless was a great trial.
Oh my gosh, I was just telling Amy about that trial.
Mm-hmm.
Not
well,
long
you told me because I was telling you about a book about a kid, the last name McCandless, and you were like, "Oh, I got to tell you about this." And I was like, "But I want to tell you about the book," and you're like, "I want to tell you about the trial."
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, "Whoa, that's way too weird." Because we could just go on and on and on. Ezra McCandless is an interesting story for sure.
Was that the night I not made you, but I was like, please watch Sasha Samsonine so that I have someone to talk to about it. That was the one with the security guard.
Yeah. Yes. So, Clay London, he should get the death penalty for what he did to her. They haven't released everything yet he did to her. They haven't released anything actually that he did to her. All we know is that he's charged with murder.
He's in custody and charged with capital murder.
Yeah.
Everything else we found out was because basically the reporters were like, I know. And now I'm going to guess the county and I'm going to say, does he live at 123 Main Street?
Right.
Does his last name rhyme with Lewellyn?
Right.
You know?
Right.
That's kind of where it got to.
Right.
Oh, Grace Naomi wants to know what are some more good trials, ladies. Casey Anthony's always good. You can watch the entire Ted Bundy if you never watched that.
Oh, the Jones trial. Hold on, let me get it.
The Sasha Samsonine one is good. The Ezra McCandless, good.
Timothy Jones Jr., that is a good trial to watch.
Yep.
Another good one.
If anybody's watching the series Betty, about Betty Broderick, her trial is interesting to watch. Very interesting to watch.
Hold on.
Jodi Arias. Oh, I remember trying to listen to Jodi Arias with like one earbud in while I worked because I couldn't stand it. I was missing it during the day.
Yeah.
Good night, Tambra.
Another good trial to watch is the Brad Fields trial. And you can look up Candace Diaz. Candace Diaz was dating Brad Fields, had a child of her own, and then had another child with him. She took a plea deal. He did not. And the trial it's hard to watch, but it's
Ooh,
what is that?
Viking American. Yeah, Susan Powell. Another good one is like a lot of people have heard it as the Ken and Barbie killers, but Karla Homolka and her husband. That is one of the most disturbing things I have ever watched or researched. And I just, because it involves, Karla was so in love with her husband and he wanted to get other women involved in their marriage. she had an underage teenage sister, and they drugged her. They filmed him having sex with her, and she died during the commission of the act.
Wait, did that happen in Canada?
Yes.
I followed that.
And she is out. She has changed her name, and she is out walking around in the world. But I mean, they actually initially got away with murdering and sexually assaulting her own sister.
Yes.
But they went on to commit several other murders and sexual assaults.
Yeah. I want to ask, was it Viking? Hold on one second.
It's Viking American.
Viking American, you said watch cold the entire detailed case of Susan Powell from start to finish. Journalist 100% still dedicated to this case. Are you the journalist dedicated to that case? And where do I watch cold? Because I've never watched that. I followed the Susan Powell case from the beginning. That's one that just, oh. Yeah, sweet, crazy. Tim Jones was a very hard trial to watch. We have Linda Jones Frazier from Facebook commenting. She said, any concerns about the other women that have gone missing in this area? Brooke Allensworth, yes, we have spoken about her. And Lisa Prescott. I'm not sure I'm aware of Lisa Prescott.
That's a name I don't know.
Lisa Prescott, Miss Brooke Allensworth and Lisa Prescott missing just in a couple weeks and a month of each other.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Viking American says, no, not the journalist. Type in cold on your YouTube and you will see incredible footage. Huh.
Thank you very much. Thank you. You see, Clay, you see, what's his name? Quake. You guys, I will never be able to say this name. Quake. You see Quake all the time? Would you ever expect something like this out of him? Clay London, that's... You guys, I'm writing these down as you say them. Because this is what I do when I work, because I can listen to stuff while I work. I watch trials.
Yeah, I'm curious. People that had exposure to Quake Lewellyn on the day-to-day. I mean, was he socially awkward? Was he overly friendly? Was he quiet? Was he introverted? I just kind of wonder, did he make you uncomfortable because he was so sensitive, or was he too touchy, or was he very standoffish? I'm curious.
Me too.
Clay says, I don't know him, but I know his dad very, very well.
How do you feel about his dad? Clay,
Yeah.
is his dad a good person? I've not heard anything really about the Lewellyn family. Okay, you guys have me completely intrigued about cold. Now you know I'll be up all night watching it.
Alabama, that is the question that comes up in every single case. It's not even just the specifics, but it's always why. Why?
Yeah, that's the hardest part, is trying to figure out the whys. I know, I think you're going to bed, Alabama. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you everybody for being here. I know it's late.
Oh my gosh, did it take me a week to get through it? Okay, I'll start watching it. Okay. Oh, Teresa.
Can I just tell you, she took that as I smell a challenge. I'm just gonna tell you.
That is a challenge, because I
she's
up all
like,
night.
Nope, I'm gonna get lots of Diet Pepsi and I'm gonna watch it at 2 times the speed with my earbuds in.
Yeah. Sensible Crime, 2 Trials and Murder of Teresa Severs. I watched that one, followed that case. And Jimmy Rogers, I have not watched that one. I'll have to listen. I have my 5-star out, and I'm writing it down this week.
Oh, Clay London says he will talk live if we send a link.
Okay, I got a link. Do you want me? I'll just drop it in the chat. Can you do it that way, Clay?
Sweet crazy. I remember you telling that story that your aunt ran into Ted Bundy. I will always remember that.
I would love to hear that story, sweet crazy.
Amanda, we got it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so it's highlighted in yellow down there. You just click on it. It will it'll ask you to test your audio. So just say like, just talk, and you'll watch this microphone thing go up and down. You're going to probably want to turn off your video if you don't want to be on camera. And then it'll tell you that you're entering the broadcast studio, and just wait patiently. And the only thing we ask is that whatever device you're listening on now, that it's turned down.
Gail, that was his cousin. All right, so we're just gonna wait for Clay to join, and we'll just keep chit-chat until he joins here.
You know what a good case is to look at? It's one that's always fascinated me. Steven Stanger, the little boy that disappeared, and then his abductor actually, when Steven got older and his abductor was no longer interested in him, he had him assist in the abduction of another child, and they both managed to get away and go to the police. Well, this poor family, because Steven's returned to his family at like 13 or 14, and it's an awkward readjustment period and all this stuff. His brother, Kerry Stanger, ends up being a serial killer.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay, we have Clay here with us, so we're going to bring him on.
Hello?
Hey, Clay.
Hey.
Hi, Clay. This is Amy.
Okay.
Thank you for being on.
Well, you're welcome. I got tired of typing.
Yeah.
We knew we'd wear you out somehow.
Well, I can tell you what I know. I live in this town. I've seen Sydney grow up. I know her family very well. It's tragic. We're all sad. It's just very tragic. I mean, I don't know what else to say.
What is your relationship with Quake's father?
My mother and his mother are first cousins.
Oh, okay. So you spend a lot of time with that family? Would that be a true statement?
Well, no, not really, because my mother's family is a big family. My mother is one of 15 children, and my mother and Michael's mother, which is Quake's dad, their mother are sisters, and like I said, my mother's one of 15 children, and we got together, but our family's so big, we don't see, they're spread out all over the United States, and we don't see each other that much, But as far as I see Quake's father a lot, and I see Quake a lot. In Grubbs, we live in a small town, 383 people. They have a farm around here, and we meet. We see each other quite a bit,
Right.
But like I said, I don't know Quake that well. I mean, I know him when I see him, but like I said, I know his dad and his grandparents very well, and so.
Can you tell us, like, I know you say you don't know him really well, but does he appear to be a quiet person, or is he?
He appears to be very quiet. Just very quiet. I mean, I hate to say that, but it just feels creepy to me sometimes. I don't know.
No, there's nothing wrong with saying that, because I think one of the things we always talk about is that, our guts are our instincts tell us who people are sometimes, and because we're raised to be in a nice, polite society, sometimes
Yeah.
we try to ignore that because it makes us feel like we're bad people.
Yeah. I was just wanting to come on and answer some of these questions on here on this chat. If somebody wanted me to answer a question that I can answer, I can tell you, my nephew, he's very good friends with Sydney's boyfriend, and he went over yesterday and seen and talked to her boyfriend's name's Alex, and he talked to him, and there's just a lot of things that's going on that we don't even know about yet, but I do know that I'm pretty sure that he tried to burn her, and I'm not sure if he couldn't burn her all the way, and then he buried her with a backhoe.
Mm-hmm.
And supposedly the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission found her. So that's
the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission found her.
They were helping search.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, they the one that found her, because where there was where she was at, that dirt was, and there was a backhoe there, I think, and then that dirt was loose, and they put two and two together, I guess, and started digging.
Wow.
So she was in a shallow grave there. And after this came out, I was thinking maybe they should look into that girl, that Brooke girl. And somebody else thought that too, because they said the same thing. Look into that, because it's kind of like the same thing. She come up missing.
Right.
My theory on this story is this guy traveled that Highway 18 to Newport every day, working on that farm. And Sydney would run every day, and he would see her running. And I think his lust kicked in, and he wanted her, and she rejected him.
Oh, God.
That's my theory. I mean, it makes sense.
That makes me sick to my stomach.
It does make sense, though.
It does. It totally makes sense.
It makes sense. It makes my stomach turn. I mean, she was the sweetest, most kindest person. I mean, she was raised in my church.
Aww.
She taught my daughter in Sunday school when
Oh.
Sydney was still in high school.
I can't even imagine what that feels like. I'm so sorry. So sorry for the family. She was so young.
Do you know where she was located?
Well, from my understanding, where she lives on Highway 18, it's somewhere behind her house back there, where she lived. She lived out on the farm with her boyfriend on Highway 18 between Grubbs and Newport, and she'd jog around like a square. I don't know how many miles it'd be all the way around, but somewhere there's a road down there where that overpass was. You seen it on the news where that truck was parked. On that video.
Yes.
Well, there's a road before you get to that overpass that goes back to the east, and it goes down. It goes all the way down to another road. I don't know how many miles down that road. And supposedly it was down there. Well, what I was told was she was found on Quake's property, on that family farm property. Now, I don't know if that's right, because they had released where she was buried at. So right. That's all I know about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And where is that in relationship to where her cell phone was found? Do you know?
Well, if my understanding's right, where that overpass was on that video, somewhere is where they found her cell phone, somewhere around in there.
Yeah, I think I have a picture of that somewhere, and her cell phone was found like 10 feet off the road or something.
Right. That's why I was wondering where that spot was in relation to where you think they might have found her. Like how far of a distance?
Probably a few miles from the overpass, I would say. It had to be, because that road goes a long way down through there. Back in my younger days, when I was running around, I've been down all them roads. Matter of fact, the Nicholsons run that farm now. Before they ran that farm, after I got out of high school, it was somebody else's farm, and my uncle was over that farm, and I drove a tractor on that farm, so I know them roads. It's just been a long time since I've been back in there, so I would say it's a few miles back in there, but it had to be in a remote location,
Right.
that nobody travels that much.
Wow. So was it property he owned or property that?
Apparently it was property. And I don't know if this is true. Apparently it's property that where they found her was on his family's property, Quake's family's property.
Okay.
As far as, but I mean, that they haven't released that information yet. But from what I've gathered from my family and friends and stuff, it was on it was on his property. So that would make sense. That would make sense too.
Yeah, because he would have access to that property.
Right.
So.
He had access to a backhoe that he dug a grave. It all makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
So, is it true that Quake and Alex were friends?
I would say they knew each other because all the farmers around here know each other, and like I said, this is a small town. Everybody knows everybody. So I would say they probably knew each other. Yeah. I would say that Quake knew Sydney too.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I know yesterday when we were last night researching, you can see, I mean, there was actually interaction between Quake's grandmother, Marcia, and Sydney's mother on Facebook. They were Facebook friends, and Marcia commented on photos that Sydney's mother had posted. So it looked like they did know each other. At least the families knew each other.
Oh yeah, the families know each other definitely. They went to school together. We all went to school together. I went to school with Quake's dad. Actually, Quake's mom went to school at Grubb's for a little while. I think she was in my brother's class. Graduated. I don't know where she graduated from, but my brother graduated in 1986. So she was in his class at one time when she went to school at Grubb. So, I mean, I grew up playing ball with in Quake's Michael's brother Randy. He was in my sister's grade. So, I mean, yeah, I know these people very well.
Yeah.
But I didn't know Quake that well, just from seeing him and knowing who he is, and I just didn't know him very well. Like I said, he was real quiet, from what I know.
Did he go to your church too, or did he not because he was out of, he didn't exactly live in the town, he worked in the town?
No, he didn't go to church. I don't know if he went to church or not, but I know he's got. We're talking about Quake, right? I know he's got a wife and some kids. I think they're girls. I think he's got all girls.
I think those are his stepchildren. His wife's children. But before his Facebook got pulled down, I'm sure you heard me say this. People post on Facebook, and a lot of people post like they have the perfect life, and Quake. Most of his posts, I mean, it looked like he doted on his wife and her daughters. Mm-hmm. So it's just, this is a very odd and very tragic case, because Sydney just looked like such a sweet girl, and everything I've read about her, she was just an amazing person.
She was a registered nurse. I think she just got her license to be a registered nurse, and I know she was an LPN. She just got a registered nursing license.
Yeah.
She was a sweetheart. I mean, she's always kind, nice.
That's sad.
You said that I'm sorry, was it who went and spoke with Alex yesterday? who was over at the house? I'm sorry.
My nephew.
Your nephew. That's what I thought.
They
Okay.
went to school together. Alex went to school at Weiner, and
Okay.
and my nephew went to school at Weiner, and
Okay.
they was like raised together, kind of.
Is the family shocked that it is Quake? I mean, is that coming as a complete shock to them?
Well, I really don't know. I mean, I haven't talked
Yeah.
to any of the family,
Right.
but I'm sure it's a shock. I would have never. You know, this is, like I said, a small town. You would never think that something like this is going to happen in your town.
Of course not. Yeah.
Right.
But I definitely, if I was the law enforcement, I'd definitely be looking into Brooke's disappearance now. I would be questioning him about her.
Yeah, just like that article said that whoever, you know, that media agency is, they had sources telling them that he was being questioned about Brooke, who disappeared in 2018. And that's a scary thought. You know, at the end of the day, we all want justice for everyone. And of course, Brooke is still missing, and we want answers for her as well. But to think that Quake is being questioned for that, and then you would be potentially looking at a serial killer.
Right.
Right. And then you have to start. Right. Then you have to start looking at anybody who went missing and his radius of travel.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Because Oil Trough's not that far. Where that girl come up missing 2 years ago, Oil Trough's not that far from here. I mean, it's a small place too. Like Grubb's here, it's a small place, and she was changing a flat tire. She had a flat tire. You know,
right.
I just feel like that he was stalking Sydney. He seen her running every day. She had a routine. He saw her every day go by that. He see her running, and I just think he wanted her and he couldn't have her, so he took her. That's my theory, and that makes a lot of sense.
It does. It does. And you know, there's so many theories about like anger over farm property and all that stuff. And at the end of the day, I always come back to the principle of Occam's razor, that the simplest answer is usually the correct answer. And although your theory is a simple one, it makes the most sense. It'll
all come out when the autopsy comes back. I haven't heard anything that if she was sexually abused or not. I don't know, but I would, if I was gambling man, I would say probably so.
Yeah.
And I would say he strangled her. That's what I would say. I don't know, but I would say he probably strangled her. He's a big old guy. He probably weighs 300 pounds or 280. I weigh 250, and he's bigger than me, and I'm 6'2". He's bigger than me.
And she's like, what, so 5'2"?
5'3", 106 pounds, something like that. I'm sure he overpowered her.
Right. Oh, that's horrible. Horrible. I just can't. I can't imagine what she went through.
Mm-mm.
And I can't imagine what her family's going through.
No, and I've seen it a couple times in the chat already. It's so frightening to think that you live in a small town and you can't go for a jog at 2:30 in the afternoon and be safe.
Right.
So I told my daughter, she goes to work. She's 17 years old. She goes to work at Newport every day and travels that same road, goes right by that girl's house every day. I said, don't you ever stop for anybody.
Mm-mm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It scares me to death.
It's very scary. Very. We live in a world that, I think I was just telling somebody the other day, you know, when I was growing up, I went to sleep with I can remember I grew up in the country. We went to sleep with our doors unlocked and our windows open. We didn't have central air when I was growing up, you know. You can't do that now. You just, it's sad. it's sad
No.
because
No, I live out in the country, and my stepchildren, like today, they wanted to, the one part of the day where it didn't rain, they wanted to go out and play in the driveway, like with bikes and stuff. And I literally said in 5 minutes, and they're like, well, just get our bikes out and you'll come out in a minute. And I'm like, no, because in 2 minutes, something could happen to you. And I'm not a helicopter, but it's the truth.
right.
This guy was in her search party. He was part of her search party.
Yeah,
And
that's disgusting.
And he went up to her mother and hugged her and her boyfriend and hugged them.
Ew.
And it was after he killed her.
Oh, that's horrible.
She was already dead.
That's
my God.
disgusting.
He knew exactly where she was.
Do you know what made him crack? Like, what made him confess?
Well, here's what I was told. Now, this might not be true. That they were going to search on that property where she was. So he knew they were going to find her. So he just went and turned himself in.
Wow.
So that might not be true, but makes sense.
It does.
Wow.
It does.
I cannot believe the audacity of going up to her mother and hugging her after he's murdered her daughter.
And he knows exactly where she is.
Right.
I think it had to do with control.
Right.
You know, he wanted to be part of that search party because he knew right where she was. I think it had to do with control.
Wow.
Well, I think that's a good observation. Yes. Feeling like maybe he could lead them away from where she was.
If I don't know if you guys believe in tarot reading and stuff, which I don't believe in that stuff, but there's a lady on YouTube that does tarot reading, and somebody was sending her emails and stuff about Sydney, wanting her to do a reading. She did a live reading Thursday, the day after she come up missing. It's on YouTube. You can type it in, Sydney Sutherland's reading. And it'll come up, and you can watch this like 30 minutes long. I watched it a while ago, and she did this Thursday, and she wasn't found until Friday, and he didn't confess to this until Friday. But she did this Thursday, and I watched that whole video, and it is 100% accurate. That reading.
Wow.
I mean, it's worth watching, and it made me think. I mean, it was all. I knew the story. I knew what's going on around here, and it was 100. It was 100% accurate. Everything on it. It's worth the watch.
Yeah, we'll definitely check it out. I
forgot the name of the lady. I forgot the name of the lady. But all you got to do is YouTube it. Sydney Sutherland's reading. It'll come up.
Thank you.
Yeah, Viking American remote viewing. We'll have to talk about that at some point. A skill that Navy SEALs use and other special ops people. My father-in-law was SEAL Team 6, and we have a lot of books in our house that I've read, like some of their tactics.
Are you, Clay? Are you in our Facebook group?
I'm not sure. I had just watched that tarot reading that I was talking about, and I seen y'all's live. I seen y'all's live thing, and I just clicked on it. That's how I got onto y'all's deal.
Okay.
So I'm probably not on your Facebook thing.
Okay. Well, there's links down in the chat, and
then they'll be in the video description too.
Yes, they'll be in the description of the video. If you'll join our Facebook group, we'd love to talk with you more, or even if you email us, we can point you in the right direction how to get in that group, and so that we can stay in contact with you, because we truly, truly appreciate you coming on here.
Well, I'm definitely going to be keeping up with the story every day. I haven't heard much today. It's been kind of quiet today, so I really haven't.
Yeah.
All the stuff that my information was all from last night. I haven't heard anything today, so I don't. I guess we'll know more when the autopsy report comes out. So
Yeah, I would expect that we're actually going to know more. I'm hoping Monday when hopefully the arrest affidavit will be released.
yeah.
And if that's released, that will give us a good chunk of information and some better insight.
So if he did everything that burning the body and burying her and all that stuff, if he did all that, that is capital murder and probably, what do you call it, getting rid of a corpse or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the death penalty in Arkansas.
Right. As it should be. Yeah, I can't get past the capital murder either because, we know the story that he supposedly told that he accidentally hit her with his car and freaked out and buried her.
Yeah, that was his first story, that he hit her with his car.
Did he tell a second story?
I don't know if he's changed his mind or not.
Yeah.
He said he hit her with his car and freaked out and took her and buried her. And
Wow. Yeah, and I think most of us who are rational minded, if we get in an accident and we hit somebody, you're going to call 911. You're going to get help. You're not going to take them and bury them. So that story just doesn't even
doesn't even make any sense.
No, and even especially when you know the family. And everything else, because you would think if you have a conscience, even if you did, freak out and bury them at first, like the minute there's a search party and the family's calling you and everything else, you are going to be just broken and riddled. And that is, then, that's your delayed 911 call.
Yeah. But I would like to give a shout out to the FBI and the U.S. Marshals and the Jackson County Sheriff and everybody that come and help look for her, all the volunteers they had. I forgot how many people, over 150 people, I think, out looking for her, and people were dropping off. They had, when you drive by there, I saw their stacks of water and Gatorade in the yard. It was just amazing how this community came together during this. It was amazing.
That is, and hopefully that the same thing will help get the family through this. Everybody coming together and trying to help them get through and heal. It's a sign of a really good community.
Yes, absolutely.
Y'all were talking earlier about her great grandmother, Miss Bonnie, and she died last year. She was a very good lady, and y'all were reading her will and stuff. But she was a very good lady too. She's the one that brings Sydney to church with her. They were very close. Sydney was close with her family. She got two older brothers, and her brothers and his wife have a little girl, and they were all close. And her mom and dad, she was close to her mama, and it was just, it's just heartbreaking.
It really is. Oops.
But her grandmother, when her great grandmother was alive, she cooked breakfast every morning for them boys. She was an amazing lady. Amazing lady.
Well, thank you for sharing that about her. It's nice to hear. It gives us a, sometimes it seems like little tiny details and not much of anything to you, but when you share those things with us, it helps us create a picture in our head of what life was like for all the individuals and how that connects, and it gives us a broader view of what the dynamic was.
Right.
So we really do appreciate you sharing everything you have tonight, and it's brave to come on here. I know you're in a small town, and we appreciate it. You've been very respectful, and I just can't say thank you enough.
Well, I wasn't going to come on, but I saw all these comments and people asking me all these questions, and I couldn't answer them all. So I thought, well, I'll just get on here and just tell what I know and all that stuff. So anyway,
Well, we truly appreciate it because we're outsiders looking in, and
yeah.
we're trying to find as much information as we can. And to hear from you has truly, truly helped us with trying to find some more answers. And we're very, very grateful for you.
But
It was very, very brave of you to come on here, and I thank you for that as well.
Well, that Quake, his grandmother Marcia, that family's gone through a lot here lately. Because if you might have heard that back in 1st of August, little 2-year-old boy drowned in a swimming pool in Jonesboro. Well, that was their great grandson. It was Michael's brother Randy is his grandson. That died. It was his daughter's kid. She has recently been arrested for child endangerment. It's on the KIT website.
Yeah.
Right.
So they're all kin.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, Marcia, poor Marcia. I don't know how she's holding up.
Right.
With all this.
Yeah, I can't imagine. I can't imagine. Because, our prayers go out to Sydney's family, and we have to consider the Lewellyn family too.
Yeah, they're going through a tragedy too.
They are.
So there's 2 families involved here.
Right, and he's the one responsible. So
right, 2 victims.
Yes, I hope that everybody across social media, and especially on our channel, just remember that Quake's family is suffering. They didn't ask for him to do this, and I'm sure they are beside themselves that he has done something so horrendous.
Right, but they're not responsible for his actions.
Right.
And yeah, please, everybody in our group and on YouTube, please keep that in mind. That is one of the most unfair things that happens to people on social media, and it's just egregious when you start going after the family. So don't.
Yes. Oh, absolutely, Maui girl. They're asking me to put Sydney's picture back up. I absolutely will. I was putting Quake up because we were discussing him. So let me get Quake back up, or not Quake, Sydney back up there. And we have, we'll put that one up there. I like that picture. Sydney was a beautiful, beautiful girl.
She was.
Well, Clay, we thank you very much for joining us. We're very, very grateful for you joining us.
Well, I appreciate y'all having me on.
Yeah, and if you, please join the Facebook group or drop us a note at wickedtruths@WTAF.net so we can keep in touch with you.
Okay. I'll do that. I appreciate y'all having me on.
No, thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. Have a good night, Clay.
Thank you, y'all. Bye-bye.
Good night. Well, that was interesting. Very, very interesting.
It was, and we're very grateful for him because he did give us some insight, actually, a lot of insight that is very helpful. So thank you again to Clay for coming on and joining us and giving us facts as he knows them. I think now we will be able to pinpoint some things that we were looking for earlier that we weren't able to find the answers to. I'm very grateful. And like Manda, Texas girl, just said, she said she wants to give him a big hug. Me too.
Me too. I want to give that whole town a big hug.
Yeah.
Because this has got to be a lot to deal with. I when you think about how small that population is,
Right.
that's smaller than my high school graduating class.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I can't even imagine.
Right.
Oh.
Right. I mean, I grew up in a town of, I don't know, it was probably about 800. And the town of Grubbs is less than 400. So
Right.
that's
So I had 1,100 in my graduating class. So that's why when I hear this, I can't. That's the only way I can imagine how small and how interconnected everything is.
right.
Is to pick a situation that I'd been in, and I just can't even imagine.
Yeah.
Well,
Like Renee said, Clay said that town will never be the same.
no.
So I
No.
think what we're going to do, guys, is we're probably going to wrap it up. And we are definitely going to be back to continue to cover Sydney's case. So if you are not subscribed to our channel and you're new, we would really appreciate you subscribing, hitting the like button on this video, and hit the bell so you get notifications when we're live, because we will continue to cover Sydney's case as well as all the other cases that we cover. We are immensely grateful for Clay for coming on, and for all of you in the chat down there for all of your input and your thoughts and your questions and all of the interaction. Thank you so much. And of course, to our amazing bomb squad down there, all of our wrenches, mods, Amanda, Joe, Amanda Clampett was down there tonight, Christina. Oh, who did I miss?
Thank you. No,
Did
not you got them. You
I
got
got
them.
'em. I
Yeah.
got 'em. If I missed one of our wrenches, it's not because I did it on purpose. The chat's been moving fast. So
Absolutely.
again, thank you to our bomb squad and to all of you. We like to call everybody down in our chat our F-bombers. So I got to do a couple things here right before we log off. And I think we're going to call it a night, Amy.
Sounds good. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Thank you for all of you that support us. Please do consider joining our Facebook groups, because there's constantly, at least, well, specifically in this case, but in all our cases, there are threads that contain a lot of information to answer a lot of the questions that you may not know. And it's updated 24/7. Trust me on that. They were posting at, I think, 3:45 in the morning last night, trying to build up the information in this case, and that will, we will continue to do that for you for this case and the other ones that we cover. And then, like Danielle said, if you'd hit the subscribe button, we'd really, really appreciate it. And also turn on the bell so that you know when we go live, because if we get some new information, we don't always have time to let you guys know. And we go on right away so that we can bring it to you as we're finding it out. So on that note, I'm going to say good night. Thank you, Danielle. And thank you, everybody in the chat. It's been a pleasure. And thank you, Clay, as well.
Yes. Good night, Amy. Good night, everybody. Thank you.